So I kind of want to start a video series of talking about things that I want to kind of get off my mind and, kind of have like discussions. So, elephant in the room, I'm not even too sure. I think it's kind of sad that for the English-speaking Tekken community that we don't have Wikipedia as a central source of information for Tekken, In the current state, how do we have information? We have YouTube. YouTube's very helpful because it's visually represented information. We have Twitter. This is not so great because you have to follow certain people to kind of see this information. You have Reddit. This requires you to be watching Reddit. It requires the content hitting the front page of a subreddit. We have Discord, which out of the lot is kind of a good way to have information, but not really. Information in Discord kind of gets locked behind servers and then channels, and maybe even being seen once and then never seeing again if it's never pinned. So Japan has a Wikipedia. Korea, I'm sure, does as well. Like, both of these countries have the information on the game presented somewhere in a central location where everyone can access it. We don't, as an English-speaking community, we don't really have a Wikipedia. The best source of information we have is frame data. And frame data doesn't really help you improve in the sense of once you know it, you're going to keep getting better and better and better because there's a lot of things that are missing. So for why I think this, if you Google SF2 Super Turbo SRK Wiki, you will find the Street Fighter 2 Super Turbo Wiki that I think, for what I've personally seen, I know anime games have their wikis, but for what I've personally seen and have used for myself, this Wikipedia is fantastic. When I go to Japan and I play Super Turbo on arcade, if I'm watching two people play and I'm not too sure about one of the characters, if someone loses and I have to play next, I can look up the information on my phone in less than a minute, find out what I was after, and then have my game plan already set in my head, which we don't really have with Tekken because Tekken has a lot of echo chamber opinions that is kind of hurting the English speaking community. For example, tier lists, straightforward, and matchups. And I guess just opinions from certain kinds of people, because when someone says something, then it's kind of considered gospel, which is not really great because it kind of sets a weird standard for everyone else when they're learning. So a Wikipedia for Tekken would be really nice because it means that we could have character pages which holds move information. If it was really possible, showing their ranges, where they hit at, even more details showing where these extra active frames activate at, like King's Downfall 1 is -1 probably like 99% of the time, and then maybe it might hit 0 or +1, because hitting later active frames in Tekken is a lot I think it's more difficult than like a 2D game to hit later active frames, I think. But that sort of information, and then matchups, talking about what you can think about, what you need to watch out for, give you a kind of a mini game plan in your head to sort of think about tech, like combos, and then certain things that you can do off something. Probably the easiest example from Street Fighter 2 was Kara cancelling moves, which was a very difficult technique to do, but if you could do it, it's very impressive. Yeah, I would love to be able to go to a central source of information to find out all I needed. I'm playing ranked, I see a character, let's say Kazumi. Okay, quickly look up on Wikipedia, okay, Kazumi, here's her ranges of her moves, here's where these moves are mostly weak to, and then what is the matchup for King versus Kazumi, sort of thing. It'll be really nice to have this sort of information. I would actually, one day, if I really could do it, I would love to start a project of doing this, because we need it. We already have something fantastic in the Tekken 7 Chicken app, which has been a very huge help to the community, but you know, we still need a lot more. We still need a lot more. We don't need more people posting about, you know, these projects of, you know, building like frame data websites or like moveless websites when it doesn't really help us when we've already got these sorts of things out. So I hope we can get to this point where we can have a Wikipedia for a central source of information, so we don't have information being repeated and asked for, you know, how do I backdash, how do I you know, backdash cancel correctly. We don't need to keep having these sorts of things like repeatedly asked, when if someone asks this, we can point to somewhere and say, hey, go read this. This will tell you what you need to know, instead of having multiple people terribly explaining how to backdash cancelling when probably maybe like 1 out of 20 of them actually understand how backdash cancelling works from the basic, and then actually how it works in terms of defense, you know, how many frames you are potentially able to get hit by a low, or, you know, not able to block or something. So yeah, if anyone has things that they'd like for me to talk about in the future, please let me know. Any opinions on this as well, please let me know. This is actually a project I would actually love to do, but at this point in time I can't do it because I've got other things to be doing, other projects that I'm currently working on. But yeah, I would really love to do this for our community, because we need it, and it's going to help new players a lot, and it can stop information being locked in discords, and we can start leaving the discords to discussions, not information sources where you kind of have to hope that the information's in pins. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.